Talk for a few minutes about individual retirement accounts, or also what are known as IRAs. There are two types of IRAs out there, and they have some important differences. Many similarities, but important differences when it comes to taxes. The first type of IRA is called the traditional IRA account. So this has been around for a number of years, and you can go to a brokerage firm like Vanguard, for instance, and open a traditional IRA account. When you contribute funds to that account, then those contributions are what are known as tax deferred. In other words, if you contribute $7,000 in 2025, which is the limit for a contribution in this tax year, when you prepare your taxes at the end of the year, you can deduct that $7,000 from your taxable income. So you don't have to pay taxes now on $7,000. You will, however, have to pay taxes when you begin to draw down those funds at retirement. So it's tax deferred because you're paying taxes later. The Roth IRA is basically all of this in reverse. You make contributions to a Roth IRA, and it's after-tax contributions. You've already paid your taxes for the year, and then when you draw down those funds later on in your life in retirement, you can draw down the funds tax-free. I prefer the Roth IRA because I'd rather not pay the taxes when I need the funds later on. There are different scenarios for different people in all of this, but a lot of people, including myself, do prefer the Roth IRA. The Roth IRA came around later after the traditional IRA had already been around for a number of years. And many people have been in the process of converting their traditional IRAs to a Roth IRA. That conversion means that they go ahead and pay the taxes, and then later on, when they need the funds, they will not pay taxes on the funds. So that's the difference between the traditional IRA and the Roth IRA. The contribution limits are still the same. $7,000 a year per person. I say per person because you and your partner or your spouse can also have an IRA as well. So it's not limited to just one per household, it's per individual. And you get to take advantage of those contribution full limits as well, $7,000 per year for each person. Now, if you make a certain amount, which is when you're starting out, you're probably not necessarily going to be in danger of this, but those contributions can be reduced if you simply make too much money. That's something that you can look into on, say, NerdWallet, and I'll include a link in the comments about how to look at these differences. But that's the essential difference between the Roth IRA and the traditional IRA. These funds are going to grow over a long time. And it's important to start these as soon as you can, really. It happens after you've funded your emergency fund. I would advise that you fund the emergency fund first and then begin investing. If you have the income to be able to fund both emergency fund and begin this kind of investing, I would encourage you to do that. If you've seen my video on the compounding interest, the power of compound interest, then you know that the earlier you start this process, by the time you actually need these funds, the opportunity for them to grow is enormous. The other thing that's common about these funds, and it's really important to understand, all the earnings that these funds enjoy over time, that is tax-free. So you're paying on the contributions that you're making, but the earnings over time you're not paying tax on. which is a huge benefit to you. And that's the reason why this investment is really a good deal for everyone, certainly starting out. Now, you may say, well, I have a 401k at work and I contribute to that. We're going to go into 401ks and all of that, and that is great. You absolutely want to do that. But I would say that if you want to start investing, this is the place to begin. I'm going to do some videos on how to choose which investments you might think about including in this IRA. But it's important to note the differences between the traditional IRA and the Roth IRA. I hope this is helpful to you. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Dad's Wisdom here. Thanks so much for watching.